Hey guys, SmartNinja000 here. Today we are going to be back with another video, and Jasper released some new textures, so we're going to see how that looks. Okay, so we have a lot of blocks to get into, so I'm just going to do that. First we have Netherrack. It looks pretty nice. We'll show off the nether in a little bit, but it definitely works decent. Yeah, I like it. Next we have nether quartz ore, and this looks really good with the netherrack. They definitely blend nicely, and a little bit of white. I like that. Soul sand, of course. It's got the faces on it. The only one this one looks upside down, which I kind of like how they're not all facing the same way. Because on the ground, obviously you can approach it from different sides. No, it does look a little bit weird. But if you look at it, you can definitely see faces on it, which is cool. Gold block, they updated this, and I don't know. This one's pretty good, I think. It's got like sort of a 3D look to it. Emerald block, I really dislike. I don't know. I don't think it's green enough for emerald. If you look at the emeralds in your inventory, there. I mean, it definitely kind of looks like that, but I think there's a little bit, it just looks, I don't know what look you're going for with it. Diamond block looks a little bit like ice, and I kind of like that. Here's ice if you don't know what that looks like. Here's packed ice. Packed ice is pretty similar. And, but it's definitely obvious. It's got these nice, like, border lines around it. Definitely could work well. Obsidian looks pretty decent. Only thing about Obsidian that I find is that it's, I don't know, I think there's a little bit too much shine. Just a little bit. I think maybe if we tone down like the little two dots right there, I think otherwise I really like it. Lapis looks good. It looks a bit like the old lapis, and it goes nice with ice. I don't know. In comparison to other blue blocks, it's about the same shade, which is pretty decent, which I think is nice. It's like slightly darker. It's got a nice shine to it. Bone block, I'm really glad they redid this one, because if you go far away, it doesn't look, and the old one, there were these super duper definite lines, and it looks like they're sort of making them thicker, so it looks not as circular. You know, you can actually find these bone blocks naturally in your world. But that's pretty cool. The ores, I really like the ores. If you look closely, you can see sort of a little bit of shine right there and there. They're more glowing, and I think that's pretty cool. It's for iron. Iron doesn't have that, and coal doesn't. I don't think, at least. It wasn't in the changelog. Jungle leaves look good. I think they could definitely work. Yeah. Well, we're going to show this off in natural. Glass looks good. Optifine's not automatically connecting their textures, which is a shame, because I thought that would. Now the real thing, here's a real test, is glass panes, because if you all remember, yeah, glass panes still look trash. Single panes don't look that good, and I did actually create a mock-up of what I think could look good. Now, I'm not the greatest at textures, but this definitely, I think, this design, you'll notice, it definitely could work with builds. It matches the planks a little bit nicer. It should be a little bit more blue, but you'll notice the panes are just like completely solid there. I think that works pretty decently. It's going in a very different direction. There's a lot more, I guess, like, I don't know. It's not as empty. It's got a little bit more of a attic-y type. I think it could work though. But we'll have to see if we even change it. Only thing is, it does look a little bit like the end rods when it's a single pane. But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. Now, at least the connected glass, or like lots of it, doesn't look as bad as it did before. So this is a step in the right direction, but we still have to work on our panes. Now Jasper can't actually change the way the panes look. He is 100% being a texture pack for Minecraft, so he can't make connected glass and stuff. That would be coding by Mojang. Now we have Endstone. Endstone looks pretty decent. It's got sort of bit like they're putting more shine on things. I'm noticing, like right there, right there, right there, and I think it's definitely a good fit. Again, we're going to show off some natural looking things, like what things look like with this. We have birch leaves, which they are pretty decent. Our other leaves, I think birch and jungle were the only ones that changed, but the other ones, they're definitely going good. Stone slabs change. You'll notice there's more of a definite line in between the two, which I think is pretty cool. And up slab, yeah. It definitely works for me. It's more like, it looks more like cut. This, I think there's just a little bit more darkening down here and like right over there. Birch, they changed birch, and I'm pretty happy about this. I think it looks good only having sort of like the little one here. There's a lot of open space. Now they did do all the tops, and I thought I liked the tops before, but I'm liking these more. You'll notice like it's sort of before it was very like smooth, all the same color, but this we got a little bit of darkening right around the edges. It's most noticeable on the jungle, or no, on the acacia. I find you can really see it, which is something I might change. And this one, the dark oak, is definitely pretty nice. Now all of them, they definitely work with the woods. Now the scene lantern, or not the scene lantern, the redstone lamp, I think it's okay. I like the other redstone lamp, the one that everyone hated. I really like that. It felt a bit nicer. Now I don't think he actually says in the change log this is the only one that's changed. So that's why I placed on the redstone block, just so you can see. But I think I like the other one better. This one definitely could work nicely with the theme, but the other one felt a little bit, a little bit nicer. We'll have to see what we get. Then we have pumpkins, and I think the pumpkins are pretty good. I'll just do a little 360. Jack-o'-lantern's definitely nice. This one looks a little bit sadder. Like this one looks more neutral, and then this one looks a little bit sadder, and I think that's because it looks like there's an eye right there. See where the pixels are? Like right here. Let me go out of F5 so you can see, like right here it looks like that's a little eye, and right there it looks like that's a little eye, which I think is kind of funny. Don't think that's intentional, but it definitely looks like he's looking down, at least, if you imagine it that way. This looks more of a neutral face. Now remember, in the new version, this will actually be a carved pumpkin, and your pumpkins will look like this. So that is that. Now this, it looks like we got more of a cut thing. Only thing I'm noticing though is this, where it's like right next to it. You see they don't connect. This side connects. This side connects. This side doesn't though, and this side doesn't. Now again, Jasper can adjust. He's in charge of the textures, but otherwise I think it would work. Now TNT's got sort of a smoother feel. Everything looks a little bit like, I guess, not as much shadow. There's definitely some shadow, and I do like it. But I feel like it's definitely in the right direction. This looks more like it's not just a block. It looks more sort of like it's a bunch of little TNT things bundled together. I really like this. I can't remember if they switched it to creeper or not. The creeper, I think they did with the old default. I'm not sure, but this definitely works. The wither's nice addition. So that's my thoughts on it. Now the sponge. Sponge works, I think. It's definitely highly textured, but it's got like lots of little flecks in it. Color, and then the wet sponge, it definitely looks sort of a soggy version of it. The particles are a little bit weird, and I think we might want to maybe darken some bits of it because I don't know, but I mean, it just feels a little bit out of place. Of course, you're not really building with sponges, so I'm not too worried about them. Now we have these blocks, this granite, diorite, and andesite, and I think they definitely fit. I think, yeah, there's a couple patches down here which you can see, but they definitely stick out too much. I'm not sure if it's just that this looks a little bit too much like cobblestone. You don't see any cobblestone patches really, and but if this was made from cobblestone, it definitely would fit better, but it's not, so I don't know. I think just in a natural sense, it might stick out a little bit too much. It's too strong. Andesite, I think, fits nicely with the stone, but the granite, I think that should be changed. And then the diorite. I don't actually see a diorite patch down here, so I can explain my thoughts on it. Is this it? Yeah. I'm gonna get a torch. You can see this one also has sort of a cobblestone-y feel to it, but I think because of its color, I think it works a bit because it definitely blends in nicely. But the granite's a really hard block to retexture. I don't know how he's going to do that. Now the polish variants, of course, I don't think they actually changed, but they are pretty decent. These definitely fit more with the stone, I feel, or at least this one does, but of course this similar color. Granite's a hard block, so we'll just have to see what it comes up with. So that is that. And now our last block, this is the Magma Box. You'll notice it's darker right around here. It looks like a little bit more red. The animation definitely fits it very nicely. And I think it definitely could work. Again, we'll show all what the natural stuff looks like. And even like what a build or two might look like. So, and now to the entities. The reason why this is in the entities is because in the folder it's an entity, so, and also that's the way it was organized in the article. You can check out the article, that'll be in the description, the link to it. So we have our ender chest, definitely good. I think the eye changed a little bit. I'm not sure. I think if the eye did change, I think it should be a little bit green, a lighter green right around. I think it should look more like the eyes of Ender, which you can see are a little bit. They're more. I'm not sure, but of course it's not obviously the 16 by 16 that they have to do that. But I think changing at least the bottom block for it could help it out. So that is Ender chest. Now the minecart, I think these little dots are a little bit less definitive, and it's smoother on the inside, which I think makes sense. It's made from iron, which is supposed to be pretty decently cut, and it definitely works. It feels like something you can ride. And as for the underneath fits decent too. So that's my thoughts on minecart. Now the zombie looks a little bit more Steve-like, I guess. Oh, it's pretty loud. I should have made it silent. But I think it could work for zombie. It definitely fits. The shirt's changed, so it's a little bit bent down, but it definitely feels like a Steve. Next we have the snowman, and that's what it looks like with it. Without it, that's where I think it was changed. I'm not really sure what's too different except for the snow texture. It looks a little whiter. You'll notice it's like, woo, right down there. Little face. That's what it. I think it works. Of course, I don't use snowmen too much, so we'll have to see. The Firepot, there's definitely more shading, like right there. Inside looks pretty much the same as the default. Of course, there's a barrier box that it's on, but I think it definitely works not too bad. We're gonna. I'm not sure. I don't have too many opinions about it. And now as for the mushroom definitely. I'm not sure. I like the old mushroom, but this one could work, I guess. I'm trying to center it so you can't see. Like it's fake 3D. I think it doesn't look too bad. There's the ice vendor in the background. Again, I don't have too many opinions about it. Now we have wheat or lily pads. Lily pads have more of a smoother, sort of got a little bit of a blend that makes them look watered. I like that. I think that works. Then we have wheat. This is all the wheat variants. I think that's pretty good. I'm not really noticing too much different, but that one looks a little bit brighter, which I think is cool since it eventually switches over to this. My only suggestion is maybe see how this one's got like a little bit more of a blend. Make this blend a little bit darker with that, and then make this like this amount of blend in a little bit with that, and you'll notice there is a little bit like right there at that pixel. There's a little bit, but maybe a little bit more, just so it's more obvious that it changes into that. Because otherwise, if you miss it, if you're like plant this down and it comes to this, the first time I did that, I was pretty surprised by it. So that's my thoughts on that. Now the icons. The icons for armor have changed. You definitely notice it in the chest plate, but I think it definitely it works. I don't know. I don't really like the icons. They look too much like it's a t-shirt, like this. Look a little bit too much like that. I think it should look more. I think this should be like out a pixel longer and maybe bend it down a bit, because if you wear the armor here, you'll notice it like bends on your arms. So we should get something like that, I feel. Chest or the chainmail, definitely I like the chainmail like this, but the iron and stuff, I don't know. It just doesn't look that great. Full chainmail, this is what that looks like, which could use an update. But so that's that. Now the next thing we have the diamond icon chain. Oh, diamond achievement. This looks good. It feels more like the old diamond in comparison to what the old new texture was. That's confusing. Rabbit paw. I think that's rabbit foot. Yeah. So that looks longer now, which I do like. The other one felt a little bit short. Didn't really feel like a rabbit. Only thing I wish is they made it so it could be like different colors. Because the rabbits come in the different shades. But I mean, that would be again coding, not because we got a desert. No, that's not a desert rabbit. Oh my gosh, give me a desert rabbit. Oh well, here's a black one. So you can see that's not exactly, when you kill it and you get this foot, it doesn't exactly make them. Oh, he died. The most sense. Oh well. So that is rabbit foot. Coco Beans, definitely big upgrade. The other one looked more, I guess, like stacked, more gravity. But I mean, if you look at the other textures where it's like lots of little items like the seeds, it doesn't really feel like that. It feels like something you could actually hold in your hand. Not really sure. It's pretty good though. Potatoes. The poisonous potato I very much like. It blends in, and it's not. The potatoes are facing down instead of up. Baked potato, I think it's a little bit too bulky. Just looks way too much. It looks a lot bigger than the other potato, which kind of messed me up. Poisonous potato definitely looks like the normal potato, but it's got some sort of yuck on it, or like, which I think works. Like the little bit of green, it definitely feels like the poison effect has been applied to it. As for fish, I'm glad they changed it, because when I was playing survival, the fish, it kind of messed me up. The regular fish and the cooked fish, it wasn't as obvious which was which, and I ended up eating the wrong one so many times than trying to cook the cooked fish. But this definitely feels more obvious. The salmon, I feel like this could be a little bit brighter, right around the end. and this can maybe be a little bit more like duller, not as definite, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, we'll show this off in the survival scenario. Now, the soups, the bowls changed. Oh, I just got rid of the bowl. And you can see this one definitely feels like an empty. The rabbit stew one looks pretty good. Mushroom stew, I think this one you'll notice isn't spilling over the edge, which I think works. But the beetroot soup, I don't know. I feel like it's not. It's too dark. It looks too similar to an empty bowl. Obviously in your hand it doesn't, but in your inventory, it looks a little bit too similar for me. But that just might be. That's just my thoughts on it. It could be very different for other people, but I'm not sure. I think it's just too similar. Like, it's not as obvious that there's soup in it. I feel like if you compare these two, it's a lot more obvious with this one. But this one just feels like it's, I don't know. Glowstone Dust they changed, and if you look at it, I think it's got a little bit more sparkle to it, which I think is good. It's definitely fits with the other sort of dusts, so that's good. Redstone, of course, being one, and I think that's where they sort of based it off of, the redstone dust. Of course, I think it looks not too bad, and again, survival. Now the Shulker Shell, I think the Shulker Shell looks good, but if he's going to change the Shulker Shell, he needs to change the Shulker boxes, because that's a little bit too much shading for this. So that's my thought on it. Now lava bucket, you'll know there's sort of, it looks a little bit, there's a little bit of lava spilling, it looks like right there. And it's definitely got more of a, like textured feel in comparison to actual lava. So I think that works not too bad. But if you compare the two, this one looks a little bit lighter than the actual lava. So no, snowballs are nice. They definitely work with the new sort of snow. So I like that. When you throw them, it definitely feels like you're actually throwing a very circular snowball, which I think might be a bit of an issue actually. It's a little bit too circular for a snowball. Of course, it looks a little bit too finely cut. So, I don't know. Although it definitely feels like a snowball. Carrots have changed. I think it's the little green looks a little bit lighter, which I think is good. I really like carrots. I don't have anything negative to say about that one. They changed the broken music disc, and I actually like this one more than the regular music disc. It's this one, the one that's like creepy. And I think it's just kind of funny looking. So I really like that. The other ones look very regular. That one's like Mario theme music. But this one, it definitely, I think it works. So that's my thoughts on that. Pop quartz fruit, I don't really know what to say with this one. It's got a nice feel to it. It's not too circular, which I like because it's just supposed to be smelted. Just like threw it in and burned it up, and then you're going to then use it to craft some blocks with use it to make some blocks. So I think that works. Now Gulbar, you'll notice there's a lot more shading right around the edges, which I think is good. But I think if they're going to do that, they should the shine shouldn't be as obvious. Like, see how there's these two lines, streaks, I guess. I think that's a little bit too noticeable. It's too straight. Where's that slime? I just want to get away from it. So that, I think the lines are a little bit too straight. But otherwise, because like the other lines are more curved, but otherwise it's pretty good. Now here we are on my server. You can join this. It's NinjaCraft.mcpro.io. So this is a survival plugin experience, I guess. Oh, yeah. So, it's very, it's definitely got a little bit of a different feel than normal vanilla, but of course builds are pretty much the same. So you can see I actually have an ender chest. The ender chest throwing me off a little bit. I think that should be a little bit darker. I do have a jukebox, but I don't have 11, so I can't actually show that. I think, yeah. Oh no, I let my parrot go. I'm vanished. So, you can see we got a brewing stand. We're going to get spammed in a minute. The minecarts, you're noticing them more. The chest, this changed. The icons, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't. It's in comparison to the legs, that doesn't feel right. And we just it's a little bit too thin, I guess. Now I do actually have some wheat growing down here. So this is a really good example of the wheat growing, and I think it definitely works. So yeah. And then if we go up to my farmhouse, you can join the server if I didn't already say the IP like a billion times. Oh, the IP is NinjaCraft.mcpro.go. So yeah, melons. The carrots actually haven't grown. I think there are some here though. No, but we do have some potatoes and cocoa beans. So when you mine this, it definitely feels more realistic. I mean, not realistic, but better. I think overall the new textures are pretty great. Why don't I just go down to my mine, so you can see. Yeah, again, this sticks out way too much in comparison to something like this. This feels more natural. This just too cobblestone-y. This actually is cobblestone. But yeah, you can see a difference. And then if I go to spawn, you can see we're not actually seeing any new textures right now, but if we just do a little fly, you can see inside this looks not bad. Oh, there's some invoice. Oh, and look at that. I'll take this one, but look, yeah. The shops, again, we're not really seeing any of the new textures here. But the lights, yeah, I think it works. I do like the other one more, but I think this one works. I'm looking for some new textures, but I'm not getting any. Why don't I go over to the house and see if anyone built with any of the... Oh, I do know someone built with them. There should be like this giant spruce. Yeah, there it is. So, this is, I think, Superior Nuts' house, right? Yeah. So you can see this. There's a lot of it being used, and since I changed it, I think it works. Definitely has a really nice feel to it. Don't know what that is. Don't know whose house this is. Okay. But you can see, here's the obsidian. That doesn't look too bad. Obviously it's mixed with cobblestone because they're not, they don't want to mine too much. Someone's house down here with the wolves. Again, no new textures really. We have wheat again. And potatoes. Is this even claimed? No, this isn't even claimed. Good job. This is claimed though, so except for that little bit right there. And I just got kicked for... Oh. Server just went down, I think. But it's back up now, so... So yeah, it definitely, I think they work, or best, no, you're not actually going to notice them too much if you're playing survival right now, at least. Here, why don't we go to the nether, though, so you can at least see this. And you will notice a very different, this is a lot darker, that looks cool, a very different look to the nether. If I just run around, you can see it's definitely got a completely different feel, just by changing netherrack and well, they changed all the nether blocks actually, so that definitely looks good. Blends in nicely with the lava, so I think that is decent. If I go to a fortress, you can see. Look at that. Oh, look at that guy. Suppose spam. But yeah, soul sand definitely fits in. I'm walking. Oh, whoa! I actually got a skull. That's cool. Ah, that's cool. So yeah, I think it works. Definitely think it works. So, yep. Okay. Well, there. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. If you like the new textures, definitely leave what your favorite was in the comments section below. Tell me what you think about them. Of course, you can try this yourself by downloading them on the website. The link will be in the. I'm standing in something. Okay. Link will be in the description to download it. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this and you managed to stay around to the end to hear all my thoughts, then thanks so much. Leave a like if you thought my ideas or things were cool, or like if you agree with me or something. I can't do this. Why can't I? I just want to jump up there. It's so hard to walk. There we. Okay, I'm going to give up now. Anyways, that's it. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Bye.